Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of State of the Union. I'm your co-host Ryan Landry.
I'm co-host Tanner Young.
We're back at you today with another video interview. If you're listening online on Spotify or anything like that, turn that shit off. Come on over to YouTube and watch it, because we're sitting down with none other than Devin, Chris of Rukus. Devin, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Man, this is great. It's been a while since we've done an interview too. It's been I think March was the last time we filmed, so we've been wanting to get another one down, and of course, wanted to reach out to you. We've been wanting to get in here for a while as well. So
happy to be here. This is sick.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
So for everyone out there that I guess doesn't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up?
Yeah, so my name's Devin, Chris, obviously. Work at Rukus. Been here for, what year is it, 21? So 6 years.
Wow.
Grew up in Santa Monica, Louisiana, out in the sticks.
Where is that?
It's like...
I was down to buy you.
Yeah. Good old country stuff right there.
Yeah.
So if you go down I-10 towards New Orleans, they got Gonzales.
Yeah.
You get off Gonzales, and it's probably 10 minutes further, 15 minutes further off the interstate.
Gotcha.
Gonzales.
Okay.
On Santa Monica and EA are like the rival high schools. I don't know if that rings any bells, but grew up there. As soon as I got a car, started coming to Baton Rouge every weekend to skate. 'Cause they had the skate park, you know. Hanging out here every weekend, and then ended up going to college at LSU. So moved out here because it's from Santa Monica to LSU is like an hour with traffic. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this 5 days a week.
Right.
So moved out right out of high school, and then as soon as I moved out, I started working here, and that's it. Been here ever since.
And what'd you go to college for? Was it anything design related?
No, it wasn't. I did general business and a minor in entrepreneurship.
Right there with you.
So I would have. I didn't know exactly. I know I wanted to do business and do something in this realm, this industry. But entrepreneurship wasn't a major yet. At the time.
Gotcha.
So they make you pick a focus if you're general business. So I did that, but then my sophomore year, after I already picked, they introduced entrepreneurship as a major. I'm like, this would have been really cool. 2 years ago.
It would have been great if I could have.
So instead of just backtracking, I was like, well, the focus will be there.
Yeah,
so
you'll still have it.
Yeah.
I did business administration because general studies probably wouldn't have flown with my parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Love you, Mom. But yeah, I did business administration. I was like, maybe a couple years in, I'll figure out exactly what I want to do. And then 4 years later, I was like, I guess I have a business administration degree now. I guess I'm done.
So funny. Sorry, Mom. She probably expected me to be like an engineer too. Did pretty well in high school. I'm like, skate shop's cool. I want to do something like that. So,
there's anything you want to apologize to your mom for, I guess now's the time.
Yeah,
there's honestly a lot.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, it is. That would be a whole just solo.
That can be
interview.
the Mother's Day episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I've definitely learned that pretty much just the first 4 years of college is basically just like, it's just a ticket to getting into something.
Right.
You could have honestly gotten almost a bachelor's in anything, and everybody's just like, all right, you got one, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
That's what I sort of feel like too. It's more of just showing you put in the work.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Because at the college, anyone can get through college. You just have to do the work, you know?
Right.
So I think or at least my interpretation and what I feel like from what I've seen is having that degree just shows whatever employer.
I did the thing.
Like,
I checked the box.
Yeah. I can stay committed for however long and knock it out and do that.
Because I'm sure, like, leaving, like, getting the degree coming in here, I mean, I'm sure there was some information that you had, but I feel like a lot of it is just, like, just figuring it out.
Yeah, I would definitely learn more working here every day than in college as far as how actual
real life
business goes.
application.
And then we're kind of, like, growing as a business, so some of that college stuff is coming into play, but before, it was, like, I was learning at a level that was, like, super professional here, and we were just hanging on by the seat of our pants, just like, oh, well, we should probably do this, and, you know, like, so it wasn't, like, this college stuff's cool, but I'm not really using this, but you know how that goes.
Over time, it evolves and everything like that. Yeah.
So, but it's funny now as we grow, I'm like, oh, wait, I learned about this in college.
Yeah, you can actually apply
it. Was worth it.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, and there you go. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
There's the college coming in. So, growing up, were sneakers ever a thing to you, or was it just kind of like a byproduct of skateboarding then?
So, really, it's till I started skating, I didn't care at all. And then I guess just part of skateboarding culture is because you're always seeing the dude's feet in the videos, so it just kind of naturally grows in you. The first pair of shoes, I was like, Mom, I need these shoes. It was the Costin Air Max Heritage.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that. It was like a 90 top.
Yeah.
The shoe, and the sole was like a Costin 1 sole.
Okay.
So it's
like
kind
a
of
hybrid.
And it was like the infrared colorway.
Classic.
And
hard to go wrong.
And I was like, Mom, I want these shoes. Like, that was the first one I was
Do you remember how old you were? Or around what
16.
time? 16.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
probably 15 at the time.
Yeah,
Were you like, I want them to skate, or were you like, I want them to like wear like as like a...
That one was the first one where I just to wear.
Yeah.
Just need it. Yeah.
I didn't break those out to skate until I mean, I was in high school. I didn't have no money, and I was always nervous to ask my mom for money for skate shoes because she's like, "You're just gonna tear them up." And you're right. And
well, especially at that age, your foot's still growing so much that it's
exactly.
like, a parent's gonna drop 120 on a shoe that next year you can't wear.
Exactly. And so instead of asking her for money for new, she was like, "Man, I guess I'll finally just skate these," and then toasted them. But but they lasted a couple years, which I was kind of proud of.
Yeah,
it's always interesting to like when they have like those like skateboarding kind of documentaries like SB that are more focused on like the shoes, and you'll hear like a lot of like you know, people who skated, they were like, I didn't even know what the shoe was, or maybe at the time,
I guess at the time it wasn't worth
anything. So they were like, I remember getting a pair of, you know, whatever it was and just thrashing them, just skating them, and then all of a sudden now, you know, they're looking at it and be like, oh my god, that shoe is going for $1,000.
It's crazy.
So it's super interesting. I mean, kind of like you said, but even I guess back then at 16 to be like, no, I can kind of see that there's kind of something of the shoe can be more than just used for skating, things like that, and wanting to hold on to it.
Well,
it's pretty interesting.
I didn't even have that much foresight. I was like, I like these. I don't want to mess them up.
Yeah, there you go.
And I didn't understand at that point the shoe culture. Like I remember, it was before the like hype social media wave really took over, and so like I kind of knew that people cared about dunks, and I didn't really get it because at that time in skateboarding, vulcanized thin shoes were the wave. Like everyone was like, going back down to thinner shoes for better like board feel and all that.
Right.
And so I remember they would post dunks, and I would see the shop Rukus would post dunks, and I would see all the comments, and I'm like, why are people tripping? Like it's kind of cool, I guess. I didn't really get it. And then so I just liked that Cawson shoe. I just liked it. I didn't even know the like aftermarket or sneaker community existed. I was just like, these are cool. I don't want to mess them up.
Because at that time, it wasn't even probably that much of a thing.
Right.
Well, especially then, I mean, I guess growing up where you grew up, I don't know if you had any sort of sneaker culture. Right, exactly,
No, thinking back, I remember in high school, like a handful of kids walking around in Jordans. Like, like I still have trouble with the numbers because no one ever talked about it until I started coming around here. So I never knew. I still have to Google. I'm like, wait, which one was that?
Which one is that?
But in high school, I don't remember seeing too much. I mean, it was all like Roshi runs and Hirachis. Like,
Roshi.
Yeah, so that was heavy in San Juan, but that's just no one was really into it there at that point, you know?
Right, yeah.
But
I remember growing up, the first pair that I was like really excited about and like begged my mom for, walking through Walmart, I gotta have these Andy McDonald Airwalks.
No way.
I gotta have them. They're gonna make me skate so much better. I remember. And then I was like the coolest kid in my neighborhood for like 10 minutes until someone else showed up with a pair of Audios.
Oh,
and at that moment, it was like, Airwalks, you can get those at Walmart. Like, that's not a shoe.
Yeah. Well, what's the exclusivity on that? None.
Exactly. They're sitting on the shelf.
And I was quite the opposite. I could not skate a lick. Can't even stand on a skateboard, but I was obsessed with the look and everything like that. Like growing up, like especially like, you know, MTV, there was a a huge boom with that. And so I loved dunks. Like I would be on the forums just looking at them and stuff like that. Like very much obsessed with like the whole culture around skateboarding. And so I was very much the poser. Hey. I had the look, I had everything, but I would just like watch people be like, that's cool.
I don't really like that word.
I think it's such a high school trope.
And
I guess,
like, I don't like the like. I just feel like it could be like, I get where it comes from and I understand because like as a skateboarder, you like hold it so close to your heart because it's like usually you get into it when you're young and it's like that's your one thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, if they think what skateboarders are doing is cool, then like let it, like at the end of the day, it just benefits skateboarding as a whole. So just let it be.
I feel like back then, I feel like growing up, it was, I think skateboarding was more on that like kind of like the fringe, like it was not, and like I think now it's kind of more of like on the forefront of everyone, things like that. So hopefully, you know, it's a little bit easier for kids who like me growing up who can't skate, but can feel confident walking to the skate shop, just being like, hey man, like that's you know, one of the things that I think I love about Rukus is one of those things. It's like I've never even gone into Rukus and even looking at like decks and things like that. But everyone has just been like, hey, you're in here, you want to. Like, you obviously like what's going on. So everyone has always been, I've never felt anything like that, like coming into Rukus, or honestly, even like with people who do skateboard, it's always been, I don't know, either people who don't really skateboard.
I find that's always what it, like, people who are skating regularly are not really gatekeeping.
They don't care.
It's people who aren't that are like the culture.
You
must protect it.
It's funny you say that because I noticed that as well. It's like the people who kind of skate are the most protective of it, and then the dudes that are out there every day are like really in the mix trying to get it. It's just like, okay, cool.
It's like, hey, you're here to support. You like it, appreciate it, you know, things like that. So that's always been the funny thing because that's the first like getting into sneakers. The first thing that got me was more of like the skating shoes, and I just like the look of like the bigger shoe and like the puffy tongue and all that kind of stuff.
You were in the golden era, Nike Talk and all that.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm just sitting there on my dial-up computer, just scrolling through the forums, just being like, man, that's cool. Because kind of how you said, like high school didn't really have it. We had like a dress code, so like you had to wear like shoes. So people really,
it's shoe dress code too.
Yeah,
leather Reeboks. You could have all white or all black.
Did Reebok pay for y'all? Like,
I don't think so.
Now that I think back on it, I don't know if they were cutting.
So. I think it was just the school. It's just like we just want like the consistent look,
right?
And
so even then, like I think for us, like sneakers weren't that much of a thing because it's like when are you going to wear them?
Right.
You're at school all day after school, I guess, but then it's like weekends. You know, it's like really hard to get that pair. I remember saving up so much of my money in high school to place an order through CCS for the Bam Margera audios. Because at that time, like at our age growing up, Viva La Bam was like king. Yeah. There's nothing better than like being Viva La Bam and having like black and pink checkered Vans.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious. I remember that show. So I have a funny story about that show.
Yeah.
I was probably, it was before I really started skating. I was probably like 12 and we were in Walmart, me and my mom, and I picked up like season whatever on DVD. And I'm like, can I get this? And she's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And then we go to check it out, and the cashier rings it up. She's like, you know this is explicit, right? And my mom like looks at me like I just bought the most evil thing in the world. Exactly. She's like, what is this show? And I was like, I don't know. I watch it on MTV.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not on MTV.
It's on MTV at night. It must
and then
be fun.
she overheard me watching it one day, and you know how he says, Bam Margera, what will he do next?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the beep. It literally beeps it out. She's like, oh, no, turn it off, turn it off. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm busted.
One episode in, return to Walmart.
Dude.
Again,
hilarious.
Apologize to Mom again.
I'm sorry again, Mom.
The sorry mom episode.
She knew it was downhill from there. She's like, oh, this kid.
There you go.
Yeah.
So whenever you, like, what was your, when you started with Rukus, like, what was the starting point? Like, where were you? And then, like, the, I guess, progression to, from the first time that you started to kind of where you are now.
Like working here or just coming around?
How'd you even just get involved with the shop?
So just, of course, like in skateboarding, like the local skate shop is the focal point of the skate scene, you know, in the city. And so there's nothing out in Santa Monica, Gonzales, of course.
Shocking.
So we're coming here. And I was the kid that would hang out. When it's raining, I would just come kick it here for hours and annoy everyone that worked here. I'm like, I got nothing else to do. It's Saturday and all I do is skate. So I'm going to just hang out here and bug club. I remember we used to mess with clubs so much. But so I just hung out here, of course, doing stuff like socially with like Ronnie and everyone that works here, Hunter Hewlin and all that. We all hang out, and eventually got out of high school, was going to college, and they had a spot open to work here. And I remember I came here one day. I just got back. I actually was looking for a job. I went to New York for like my last vacation of the summer, and I had the lady from CC's Coffee House called me back. I turned in an application there before I left, and she's like, hey, I like your application. Can we do an interview? And I was like, yeah, get back this day. We'll do it. It was going to be 2 days after I got back. So today I got back, come to the shop just to tell everyone about this, you know, the trip and all that.
Yeah.
And Ron's like, come here, I want to talk to you. And he like takes me in his truck. And I'm like, oh my God, am I in trouble? Like, I don't even know what I did. Like,
New York is off limits.
Yeah. You don't talk about that here. So, and then he was like, so you want to work, like pretty much just like, so you want to work here? Like, I can't promise you this many hours or what, but if you want to start. And I was like, yeah, yes. Are you kidding me? Yes. Like, can I start today? Like, because that was the only place I really wanted to work. But everything else was like, I guess I'll just do that for now. But, so it worked out.
Sorry, CC's.
Yeah, sorry. If you're watching this, I'm sorry that I didn't show up to that interview.
All the CC's fan base that we have right now screaming.
I don't think I even called her back and said like, hey, I don't need to do the interview.
But we
that
was
like a young
morning,
move.
So.
But
wow, what a skater.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, I apologize to you as well.
All these years later, it's finally catching up.
Yeah. She's watching the computer like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now she's bummed too. Sorry.
So you said that was about 6 years ago that you started working here?
Yep, 2015. August 2015.
And at the time, were you just working the floor or anything? Or were you doing anything?
Floor, folding stuff, just like very, typical entry level job stuff. And then at the time, we were a lot slower, just I don't know, it was kind of a down couple years for us.
The shop was closed half the day, so Mark could come film the breakdancing videos in the back over here.
When y'all posted that was so funny because I never saw those like happen or anything. Like he worked here before me, but I knew they existed. And seeing one come to light again, I'm like, dude, that is hilarious. Because Mark's the best, and like he'll still do that in the club, and everyone loses their mind. Yeah. It's the best thing in the world. But yeah, I never got to witness one of those, unfortunately.
At least we have it documented now for history.
Right, exactly. It's there forever.
It's in the vault.
Yeah. So what was it like then working here? At what point did you become more involved with doing, photography, design, handling the business, stuff like that?
So the first probably, I don't know, year, 2 years, it was very just like, I was only working probably 12, 15 hours a week. I remember we were so slow if it rained that day. I was getting the call yo, don't worry about coming in. And so when I would see rain clouds, I'm like, God, I got to pay rent,
Checking the app this morning. Son of a.
Yeah. So, and then, I was always just wanted to be a part of it and always do things. And so the more I learned and the more they're okay, he's kind of getting it. They give Ronnie, give me a little bit more okay, you can handle this, you can handle that. And eventually that just grew and grew and grew. And then by the time once I got out of college, it turned into just Ronnie was all right, me and Jalen kind of do everything now. Yeah. And he's like, look, y'all do what y'all think's best. I'm here if you need me, pretty much.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, of course, he taught us everything, top to bottom. And it's so funny. I remember getting chewed out for, the dumbest stuff sometimes. Or you think it's dumb in the moment. But then...
What's the, dumbest one you can remember?
The dust at the bottom on the floor behind the skateboard rack. He's like, dude... You're sitting there, you could have just cleaned this. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I go pull the vacuum out the back and vacuum under it.
I didn't know.
And then looking back on it now, though, he was just teaching us attention to detail, everything matters type stuff. So it's just funny because at the time you get all nervous, you're oh my God, I'm messing up so bad.
I'm gonna get fired.
But crazy. So yeah, and then of course over the years more and more stuff. Then it's oh well, we need to do a shop tee. What do y'all want to do? Or it was just I can't even think of examples on the spot, but it was little things like that, or hey Dev, come do this, apparel order, and then I'll look on it after. I'm oh, I get to pick it first, get so excited about that. I think the first role I had was just ordering hard goods, which is super simple.
Okay,
bearings and stuff that have to be ordered regularly, just the same stuff, no pre-book stuff. And then I guess when I didn't mess up that too bad, he's okay, there you go. He can do an order of t-shirts this time. And
there you go.
Do that and boop 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 boop. But yeah. Now it's
pretty cool. Just kind of how, kind of from talk with everybody who obviously, works here or interacts with them a lot. It seems like he has a lot of very subtle ways to kind of introduce people and kind of has that foresight of being okay, I think, they'll be able to do something pretty big and things like that. And like you said, just starting off with these small things and then kind of being all right, yeah, you got the hang of that because it's by placing this order, okay, then you can do this, and then you start doing that. And, it is one of those things where it does seem like he has a lot of teaching along the way, building a lot of those skills.
He is first and foremost, he's the best dude in the world.
I would say credit where credit is due, and give him his flowers. I swear every interview we've done, whether we bring him up or not, it always somehow ends up our guest is bringing up Ronnie and thanking him.
And it's one of those things even with people who aren't affiliated with Rukus. He is just one of those people in kind of the sneaker culture that especially down here of everyone like you said is trying to give credit and things like that. Obviously kind of how you said with the way Rukus kind of started being this kind of small thing, and then just to think of Rukus now and even think of the growth that it's still doing and things like that is pretty amazing to see, especially wanting to really capture all of this with just the Louisiana and be this is kind of where it is, just at almost a boom type thing.
Right. He definitely has a lot of wisdom just from doing it for so long, and foresight. And that's the older I get, the part that I realize the most impressive. I'm the whole time he's planting these little seeds. And when it all comes to fruition, you're oh my God, that's what he was trying to tell me the whole time.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's crazy. I guess because he got kind of the sneaker wave from Supra sky tops and stuff like that. And
Terry Kennedy's?
Just random niche stuff that hit at skate shops. And so I learned from working here, and he always tells us stories and stuff. He has a million of the craziest stories ever, but just learning from that. And that's why a lot of the other people in the sneaker industry or sneaker world in Louisiana would come to him for advice, because they've seen him deal with it to some degree. It's not, of course, not as crazy as shoes are now, but he was the dude having to handle all that before we had different sneaker boutiques around here. So and it's just funny when I watch the interviews too that y'all do. I'm just yep. I remember him telling me that story. I remember him telling me that story. It's just crazy how the impact he's had on so many people is like really impressive, and kind of I'm just lucky to get to know him the way I do.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, for sure. Such a solid dude. Do you remember some of the first projects that you worked on around here, whether it's designing a shirt or shooting any product or anything like that?
So product shots definitely came later, like within the past few years. We realized.
I thought I saw that progression there.
We can like get into that like later on if you guys want. But the first like shirt, let me think. Oh, a good one is Adidas used to let us. The skate shops had they could customize the Shocker jerseys.
Oh, okay.
So we would get to pick the colors on the. You could pick every color on the 3 stripes. Y'all know which ones I'm talking about? It's like the 3 stripes right here.
Yeah,
the collar. We did a few different ones.
Okay.
And you could customize the rib on the sleeve, the collar, of course, the jersey color, the 3 stripes, and then it was like the name on the back and number. And so we did. I designed one and just left it on the computer in the back. I just left the screen up for some hopefully someone sees it. Yeah, it's cool. And so he saw it, and then we ended up ordering that one, and that one worked. Which was we're very like collaborative. It's not like one person's like we're doing this.
Right.
Like, it's just like, well, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
And we kind of talk it out. So we ended up liking that one. But the funnest one was it was me, him, and Jay, and we all made one. All made a colorway, and we're like, we're gonna see which one sells out first.
Yeah.
I made like a Gucci colored one, which was like all black, red, and it was like all black, like red and green stripes. Yeah. And at the time, that was like super hot. And I was like, you're about to get smoked. And then Jay did like a Tommy Hilfiger one, and Ronnie did like a LSU one because he was like, dude, LSU. Like,
he's like, I've lived in Baton Rouge long enough to know.
He's like, this ain't my favorite, but this one's gonna sling.
Yeah.
And then the Gucci one sold out first. So I was like, y'all better take notes.
Some notes there.
Should have put some weight on that.
Right. We should have put some bread on it or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Run it back. Do another one this year.
I wish they don't have the program anymore. I'm pretty bummed. Because it was like, you know how fun it was to like design your own shoe. It's like that, but it was just a jersey. So
like an Adidas ID, but for apparel.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to think timeline wise. 6 years ago, was that within when the Crawfish dunk came out?
The year after.
The year after that you started here.
The dunk was 2014. I started in 2015.
Do you remember showing up for the release or the whole scope of that?
This is kind of funny story looking back on it now. Again, I didn't understand how big of a deal it was.
Right.
I'm like, cool, Rukus is getting a shoe. Like, cool. Like, Crawfish. Like, it just all made sense to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, Crawfish boy, whatever. Didn't understand the magnitude of it at all. And I show up on release day. And keep in mind, at this point, I'm still the kid showing up every day. I come in here for 45 minutes and just, like, bother somebody. Just, like, don't buy nothing. Just come and talk someone's head off. Yeah, hang out. And of course, I'm probably keeping other people from working. Sitting there trying to hang out. And so I show up, and we had the park at Circle K next door. And there's a line, or it used to be a Circle K. Yeah. Now it's
like a meat shop or something.
Yeah, it's a chicken, like, fried chicken place. And the line's, like, wrapped, like, all the way to the end of the building. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm not buying the shoe. Like, I can probably just walk in.
Right.
And Hunter Hewlin's like guarding the door, and I'm like, "What up, Hunter?" I dap him up and try to go. And he's like, "No, Dev." Like, he's like,
it ain't like.
Yeah, he's like, "You can't come. Like, you gotta wait in line today. Like, sorry, it's all crazy." I'm like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." And I like look at the line. I'm like, "Sorry, everybody."
Yeah.
Like, well, I'll see y'all later because I'm not buying the shoe.
Because he's like gonna explain to every person like he's not coming in to buy the shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just gonna see a lot of people get pissed off that you just dapped him up and walked in.
I had no like idea about that part of it. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to waltz on in and say what up. And then I'm probably the last person they wanted to be hanging out here in the middle of all that chaos.
Well, the pandemonium, yeah.
Just chilling.
Did you end up ever getting a pair of them?
No, I still don't have a pair.
Really? Well, now's not a great time to not have a pair.
I'm just waiting now. I don't want dunks to tank, but hopefully for some reason people think the Crawfish dunk isn't cool for a split second and I can like grab them, but I still don't have a pair.
That's crazy.
Because my mom, like I said, I couldn't justify because the pack was like $180.
Right.
No way I'm justifying
that.
No.
Especially not in high school.
Yeah. Tough at 15.
Especially when I'm like, I don't even have a job. Like, I'm just like asking her for
straight out of her wallet. Yeah.
Look, this could be my birthday present. This could be my Christmas present.
I remember doing
famous
that.
Last words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't have to buy me anything for a year. I'll eat ramen. I swear. Yeah.
So yeah, didn't even get a pair on release day. Nothing, which I regret. I wish I would have like really begged for them, but like I said, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We all have a shoe gret.
Right.
At some point.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Shoe grit.
So especially, I mean, I guess then talking about the explosion of dunks, what's it been like working here and seeing, I would call it over the past 2 years. I mean, last year was like absolute like hockey stick in demand, but what's it been like to see that increase? Are you seeing like tons of people walking in that like you would never see before, or just
Baton Rouge is kind of late to things, so we would still had people really asking for dunks like 2017, 2018. Of course, not to this degree. So it was always like kind of random people,
right?
But of course, like I would say 2019. The first one that really went crazy that I remember was that corduroy dunk low. It was like
the Dusty Peach.
Yeah,
I remember. That's so funny that you bring that one up. I remember seeing that one sitting over here. Now, granted, it might not have been in my size. That's when I look back on him and man, I should have bought that one.
Yeah. So that one I remember we got them in, and it was the days where we get them in, take a flick on the phone on the floor, like new Nike SB just in, call for more info, and so.
Before you have to turn the comments off.
Right. Yeah, people get so bummed. I'm like, it hurts my feelings. Because I get bummed out when I read everybody else getting bummed out. So I'm like, all right, look, I'm just turning the comments off, give myself some peace of mind.
Right,
But yeah, and so we had a couple people in here, and it's funny with like hype culture we'll do even in person, because the phone kept ringing. It was like, we'd ring someone up over the phone, and I would hang up, and it would just immediately start ringing again.
Right,
because people were like literally waiting
to get their call answered.
Hang up. Start ringing again, and then like 3 people when that was happening was like, "What are these people calling about?" And I'm like, "Oh, this shoe," and they're like, "Well, I want one."
It must be good if everyone's calling for it.
Yeah, so like we sold at least 3 or 4 in store in like that little time window from the strength of everyone calling so much. Which is just so funny to me. And like they didn't even want this, but everyone
they don't even know what it is. But now that someone else wants it,
right.
It's crazy. I remember. I guess it must have been 2018, 2019 humidity trumpet dunks.
Yeah.
And coming in here, that was probably honestly when y'all started seeing me more, because it was like, you know, I skated as a kid growing up, but then like obviously I just fell off of it for the longest time, and then it wasn't really until we started talking. You've been into sneakers for a while, but it's like I finally caught the bug from you, and then humidity trumpet dunks were coming out. I was like, I got to get a pair of these, and I remember coming in here day after day asking about them, and then one day y'all finally posted that y'all got them in because the UPS truck had delivered. I remember, I am so sorry to everyone that I work with, leaving the office. I'm not asking permission. I'm not telling them. I was like, I'm going to the store. And by the time I got here, of course, they were gone by then. But
yeah, it was like, so you're right. About in 2018, there would be some shoes that went, because I think they had the black and red pigeon glow.
Okay.
Jeff Staple one.
Yeah.
I think so. There was a few. Oh, and there was the purple lobster too, I think, in 2018.
Y'all got that one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, that wasn't the green one. Was Friends and Family, right? I get it back.
I always forget.
I think so.
Yeah,
they're also limited. They all feel like Friends and Family.
Yeah, exactly. They might as well be Friends and Family.
I think the purple one was the one. Yeah, it was purple. Trey made a video, I remember. So it was purple, and then the green was like concept only Friends and Family.
Gotcha.
So in 2018, you had like some quick strikes that would get a lot of attention. People coming here and asking. But then 2019, that grew a little bit more, and like you said, 2020 it was like,
it was wild.
Yeah, but
did you see any like from the dunk boom? Have you seen any of that like transition over to like any other shoes? Like maybe people coming in for dunks and being like, all right, well, while I'm here, like picking up something.
It's kind of yes and no, because of course you get some people that just want dunks,
right?
And if you don't have dunks, they're like they won't get past the mat. They'll be
dunks.
They'll open the door. Y'all got dunks? Oh man, we're sold out. All right, and they turn around and leave. All right, well that kind of sucks, but whatever. But then you get some people that still look around and stuff. It's funny though. You will see the shoes that resemble dunks kind of go off, or like because they can't get a dunk. And they're like, oh well, this one, like the Adidas Forum.
Right, that one's had a great year.
Yeah, that one's big.
And that, to me, that's like the closest shoe Adidas has right now to that look of a dunk. And so, whenever we first got that in, I remember like at least 2 or 3 people coming in. Do y'all have dunks? And I'm like, no, but we have this, and like this Forum. It's kind of like bulky like that. And they're like, oh, that's a sick. I'll get that one. And so you get some carryover, but
See, my problem is I walk in. And my mind is already made up. I'm buying a shoe.
I'm leaving with a shoe.
I want this shoe. So I'll walk in, but now I ain't got it. I'm like, well, I'm here. All right.
Might as well look.
So I just look around, and be like, all right, I'm getting this one. So I always, that is the worst thing of when you already made up your mind about buying a shoe. I guess not the worst thing. I end up getting, well, I guess my wife's not too happy because I got way too many.
Overflowing,
But I've already made up my mind. It's like, in my head, my bank account has already subtracted this amount of money. So I'm like, I might as well end up doing so. It's always interesting to see. I was wondering if like with the boom, does it actually like kind of like fade out? If even people just like picking up like a t-shirt or like a pair of shorts or something like that, of just being like, I guess I'm here. So it's like not getting what I want, but I would imagine there's still quite a lot of people, like he said, of just like walking in. Do you have this thing?
Yeah.
No. All right.
Yeah.
You're right. But it, like you bring up, I didn't think about like shorts and t-shirt and stuff. That's a little bit easier because not as expensive as them buying a shoe.
There's been so many shop shirts that come along with shoes that I've ended up buying. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that's the thing for sure. Like if I, if there's a shoe that comes out and it's like I missed out on it because just hype and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, well, the shirt's actually pretty dope. Don't got the shoe, but I can get the shirt. The shirt's pretty cool. Wish I could pair it, but I'm like, you know what? I still got something.
I was still a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could still feel like I was a part of the release and things like that. So it helps.
I feel like there must have been, I mean, it was last year for sure that I felt like we saw that explosion so much, but then it was either the Travis Scott or the Chunky Donkeys that ended up coming out that I remember seeing y'all post for the first time. Shoes will not be held at the store.
Yeah.
Was there like a growing concern and then a threat then of like,
for sure,
because getting broken into and having people come and take them?
Never like a threat. Like no one, we never
felt actual.
Like, we never really felt like anyone's gonna do it, but we do it just in case somebody wants to get froggy one day. And,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like it's not worth it at the end of the day. Like,
right. Yeah.
So especially for like the big releases like that, and the Travis one was when we started it because we're like
that one. It's like you can see from a mile away.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna cause problems.
Like, we didn't even want people. We weren't shipping them out at that time either.
Oh, gotcha.
So we had to bring them here that morning of, and then we told people who wanted to come here like before we opened. Because what if someone who didn't win is like waiting for you in the parking lot?
Right, exactly. You've seen it before on like big popular releases. Like people start getting sketchy in those scenarios.
Yeah, and so the last thing I want is someone to get a pair of shoes that we sold them and then
get jumped in the parking lot.
Yeah, like I want no part of that. So we had people come before we opened and stuff, and it went super smooth. There was no problems at all. But we were definitely worried about it because you don't know how. I mean, we've all seen the headlines of stuff, so you just like you get nervous and you don't want to be the like entity responsible for that. At all.
You don't want the logo in the background.
Exactly.
Right,
and it's tough now because I mean, like the price before it even releases.
Right.
Like people are already like, this is how much it's going to be, and that hasn't even come out yet. So it's always it was interesting to see kind of how like you said of just them closing out. I remember either you sent me that post or I remember us talking about it, and I think that was kind of the moment where we were like, oh wow, so this is really
you really saw it.
It's really
off.
it's really big.
Can I ask what your opinion is then on the? I'd say it's somewhat of a recent movement, but probably not exclusively. Shops making people wear their shoes out of the store, which I think is different from like show up and do a kickflip, but like must wear them out or like doesn't come with the box at all.
Yeah, I don't agree with the got to do a kickflip or a trick thing. Like, if you want to do like a special like a separate raffle or something cool,
right? Yeah.
And the same thing we were talking about earlier with the like poser thing. It's just like, dude, these people are into the shoe.
Shoes
like,
are shoes,
it doesn't it's not that big of a deal. And then I'm cool with the make them wear it out, but the no box thing, I don't really, because some.
I agree. Speaking of this man right here,
because I understand that some people like love the box and like.
We have two very different reasonings for why we're against shops not giving box. Ryan is on the thing of like you said, like I want the box. Like
I'm a completionist. Like any accessories that come out with any release, I'm hunting them down.
Right. Yeah, he's gotta collect it. See me, box, immediately throwing it away. It's taken away. But I'm like. No. You're not going to tell me that I can't.
He wants to make the decision.
I 100% agree.
We both know I'm throwing this box away, but I don't like you telling me I can't have the box to throw away.
I'm with you 100%.
So, like you said, I'm very much of like, you want me to wear it out? That's cool. Like, that's why I'm buying the shoe. I'm buying the shoe to wear it and things like that. So, like you said, like, sure, okay. I see that, and I see shops being like, hey, like, we want to sell it to people who actually want to like enjoy the shoe,
right, and
things like that. And so, but the no boxing, like you said, I like the idea of kind of like, submit a video of doing something, and it's like you can get like extra tickets or something like that, and it being like, all right, sure, it's a like that would be like I get that separate thing, and be like, hey, maybe that would be my incentive to be like, all right, gotta learn how to do the easiest. I don't know what the easiest to. Just writing it, I don't think that's a trick, but let me tell you what, it would take so much time. Just submit one video to Rukus of me just wobbling.
You just come through the frame, just like
exactly.
It's just Ryan pushing me.
That's actually your wife just moving the phone. You were standing still. I don't think we can count that one.
All right, fair enough.
We tried to do a trick.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. Has there been any other shoes that like even similar to the Dunk that have taken off kind of like that in recent years?
Man, it's in a league in its own.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest. But the only shoe where someone's walked in, asked if we had it, and then left in the past 2 years is a New Balance 550.
Man, New Balance is over, I would say, the last year, maybe 2 years, out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not out of nowhere if you've been paying
bringing
attention, but
hitters.
Yeah. I agree. They're on fire right now. Yeah, I mean,
looking good.
Hey, I'm guilty as charged, but
Hey, there you go.
we had that one red and black one that came in so far. We got lucky. We got in with the New Balance lifestyle before they froze opening new accounts.
Oh, okay.
Like, our rep actually told us last week, like, yeah, y'all actually got in like 2 months before they froze it, and I was like, wow. That worked out.
They froze it just because of how much the popularity was exploding?
Yeah,
or?
just like because they at that point, whenever we started getting it, they were getting a lot of momentum with collabs, like you know, the big name collabs, and so they cut it off. The same thing with how no one can open up an SB account really right now. It's
Gotcha.
like whenever it pops off, you don't want to dilute it,
right?
You want
Yeah,
to, like,
true.
Make it last as long as possible. So they cut it off. They like no more new accounts. Like the ones can get more shoes, like they can order more and all that. That's fine, but no new doors, all of that. So we got in right on the cusp of that, luckily.
And are y'all still? You said y'all got the the black and red?
Yeah, it was like a GR pair. And we're gonna get more. It's weird because the like skate we carried numeric in lifestyle. The numeric stuff isn't really getting affected by production stuff because they're made in Indonesia and not Vietnam. It gets super technical, and I'm like, I just thought if it was coming from over there, like it would get delayed.
No,
yeah.
So
each one its own
we're not
thing.
seeing delays from that, but lifestyle gets made in different factories, and they're having production issues. So like the shipping and all that on that is getting messed up, but not numeric. So it's just it's honestly right now it's a mess. But all you can do is just hope stuff shows up.
Right.
Fair. Yeah.
Like we just got like 8 pre-book Nikes, like GR Nikes.
So when you say pre-book, what does pre-book mean?
So pre-book
For them, I obviously know. Tanner obviously knows, but for them, I guess.
Yeah, to clarify, good question. So it's just we don't get to order stuff and then they ship it immediately. We have to book shoes about 8 months in advance. They show us a line, and they say, "Look, this is everything we're coming out with. You pick what you order, the quantities." And
you ever shown up and be like, "I don't think those dunks will do too well for us. I guess we won't order any."
Not in the past 3 years. I'll tell you that.
Do you get a say in like? Is there a limit on how much quantity you can order?
Now there is with certain shoes. So even with GR Dunks, they capped it. And then Blazers, even SB Blazers.
Yeah, Blazers have been popular lately.
So, but it's not the Blazer side of it has more to do with their production side. Because same thing, not all their factories are up and running, so they can only make X amount for that season. So it all plays into that, and so you get allocated. Like our rep tells us, okay, you get this many Blazers for this season, divide them up how you want between all the colors. So it gets kind of tricky because you're like, man, because then you have to play favorites and you're like, all right, which one's going to hit? And then sometimes the ones that hit are not the ones you thought.
You didn't see it coming at all.
Because like another trend will happen and make that colorway cool. So it's all like, we just take our best guess, but at the end of the day, like you don't really know. Yeah.
Seeing the shoes that far out, do you find it really hard to keep that secret from everyone? Like, do you want to just tell everyone like, hey man, this is coming out? Or
at first, when I first started like seeing it and stuff, for sure. I hate to admit this, but you do get kind of like jaded and used to it.
Yeah, we've asked different people we've interviewed that, you know, like different photographers and stuff we've had of like, you know, once you see everything that like everyone else is like hyped and drooling all over, but it's showing up and like you're just dealing with it day to day, does it kind of have that different effect
for
to it?
sure? And it sucks because it's not it does take a little bit of fun out of it.
I guess so.
When you know everything's what's coming, but it's still the appreciation comes from a different place. I think at that point, it's not just like pure excitement. You don't just see it and get stoked because it's like so and so's collab or whatever. You look at it for more, I guess, what it is, and you're like, damn, this is really well done.
Yeah, I think you just have a different. You just have a different outlook on it, things like that. So like, like I guess the initial release and like the build up to it is not necessarily like you don't get that enjoyment. Cause like you said, I mean, you're months in advance, even before the build up happens.
Right.
But like you said, like you just have a different appreciation for being like, okay, yeah, this is pretty sick. And things like that. So,
and some stuff you see it on the internet and you're like, oh, that's all right. And then you get it in hand and
you're
like, oh wow, they did it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they did it right this time. Or,
you have an example of one sneaker that definitely had that effect on you?
Man, let me think. One that is tough because a lot of the times we have samples, like we get to see a sample.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So usually the sample one they have, can't say pair because it's just the left shoe.
Right. Yeah.
Them poor Nike reps would be getting robbed.
They had both.
They had both. Man, the Mummy one, even though I saw it beforehand, the Mummy dunk, like when it came in, I had another moment. I'm like, dude,
solid execution.
They did it
just clean.
They did it perfect for what it is. Like you can, it could have went way too gaudy.
Yeah,
it could have been way too much or something where it's just, oh, this is just an October shoe.
Exactly. We talk about that a lot of like sometimes the Halloween shoes of like, if you think about, was it last year or year before the jack-o'-lantern dunks? Mm-hmm. Cool. Very Halloween, but it's like, I'm going to wear them one day out of the year and then like, what am I going to get? But
so that one was one I thought like, okay, the details are here and you can still wear it outside of October. That one I'm pretty pumped on still. That was a good one.
That was a great one. I felt like for me, and maybe it was a lot of the release behind it, turduckens last year were one of those ones where it's like pictures were one thing, but once you got them in hand, you're like, wow.
I'm glad you brought that one was one because for quick strikes, sometimes we see pictures before they end up on the internet, but for GRs, we see samples before. Like in release for people watching, that means there's no release date. Like kind of you get it in and then you could pick the day and how you release it. Whereas quick strikes, they're like, this is the day it comes out. Okay. Not sell it before.
Right, all right.
Or you're going to be in big trouble, mister. But the Turduncan, we just saw pictures on the internet first. There was no sample. But then when it came in, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And the shoe isn't like the prettiest shoe, but the story and the details, you're like, that one I was excited about too.
I feel like that's one that because it was, I feel like mids and highs, like the hype drops off a cliff after that.
Right.
Because I remember, I guess it would have been 2017 or 2018, probably first pair of shoes I bought from here was the White Widow dunk mids that came in. I remember buying them from Jay actually. And it was just a random day. I just stopped in to see what was going on. I saw them sitting on the shelf. I was like, these look cool. But just like completely sitting because they're mids, because they're highs,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that one's sad. I was really surprised.
I remember Jay pointing them out to me. I was like, the materials on these are like really nice. It's a really cool story. I got the long sleeve tee that went with it and everything. Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah, that one. There was another one. The dog walkers kind of sat for a minute too.
Really?
That would have been 2019? I think.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
It was one that didn't sell out like the same day, which I was really surprised
I don't think I liked that one as much.
In some sizes.
Yeah. I don't remember loving it as much on release as like over time it kind of grew on me.
Yeah, I just remember all of the, I think whenever we talked about it, I was like, that was one of my favorites. Not necessarily that I like loved the shoe that much, but like everything else that like came with it. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. Like, because that was a 420 shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe why I was like, I don't really see the theme in that shoe, but I was like, really cool. But then all the other stuff, like the leash and everything that came with it, I was like, okay, this is...
All tags on the back, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all of the accoutrements with it, I was like, super tight.
That's my favorite, always my favorite stuff, the little extra pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
That's 100%. Always like the most storytelling pieces.
Yes, exactly.
Those are always the most fun to
So
me.
it really just brings everything in.
Right. The leash was fire. That was so cool.
I remember, though, it's funny, like, looking back on it now, I remember... Again, this is one of those examples, like, couldn't get the shoes, but had to get something that go with it. I remember y'all had the stickers just that Nike SB sent at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because, like, I feel like now I don't see the Nike SB stickers that much. I don't know. Are they not making them or they just like, come and go quick?
When they send them to us, we put them out, but it's just like they don't really send them no more. I think it's still part of the, like, hype and production issue. Like, you move your focus whenever you're like, we need more dunks.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make more? And you're not worried about getting all the shop stickers, I think that's just part of it.
Yeah, I ended up picking up I think a couple White Widow stickers like years after. Yeah. Y'all had just had them like sitting in there and I'm like, oh, that looks really tight.
And it's funny, sometimes our Nike rep's like one of the best. He's the best rep ever. His name's Joey. Shout out Joey. The man, he kills it in everything he does. But he'll just like find stuff sometimes randomly, and like I think those stickers we got late. It's like, I saw these on my little portal, so I just sent them over.
Nice.
So we'll always like get sometimes like the little accessories late just because he'll find them and like, oh, they'll like this and shoot it over. So
Joey, my address is in the description. Just shoot them on over whenever you got them. Do you have a favorite release that the store has done? Like I think last year for the Turduckens y'all did, or the story that went with it, the canned food drive. I think y'all have done a toy drive before.
Yeah.
Has there been a favorite release because of like what came around it?
Man, it's always fun to do the like give back stuff. That's all. It just makes you feel good,
right?
And the canned one was cool. It kind of became a little bit of a headache because dudes wouldn't show up with cans. A few dudes straight up just ordered a bunch from Walmart.com
and got them delivered.
Here, and so like
I never considered.
Yeah, so like a FedEx truck and it just says like Walmart on the boxes and he's like unloading like 5 big boxes and we're like, what are you doing? He's like, it says for y'all.
Someone.
And we're just like, dude, and it's just cases of corn and you're like, what? Like, all right, thanks.
Like, man, I appreciate it, but like, come on now. Yeah.
Because at that point, it's like, it's not what they can fit in their car that they're bringing. It's
right.
like, I'm just going to send FedEx to drop.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one was really
hilarious.
That one, there was like, of course, a little bit of like headache with that sense, but that one was fun. I know I don't want to say I like making people camp out, but whenever we would do them,
we do kind of miss the lineups.
It's just cool to see like, damn, these are down. Like,
commitment,
like I respect
well,
that.
And it's like, it's kind of one of the last ways that I feel like, not to sound old, but like in today's like day and age, that like you still have some actual sense of community other than online. Cause like we've done a couple lineups before and like end up meeting people there and like stay in touch. Like it's a way to meet other people that have the same hobbies and interests that you do.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of miss those as well, but I understand that, especially over the recent years with just the way the demand has been, it's like, it just gets way more dicey to do.
Yeah. And it's fun for us too, because we see people excited when they come in, they like take them out the box, put them straight to feed, and so they actually wanted them, and then of course people chop it up when they come in. It's not like they just size down.
Exactly.
We hang out a little bit and stuff, so it's way more fun like that. But it's unfortunate that because of the hype culture and just like where it is right now, it's just too much. Like it would just be.
I thought it was really cool. I think whenever that Travis Scott release, like I think like when y'all had posted videos, like obviously after, like but like seeing the videos of people like kind of how you said, like putting them on and like the excitement of like wearing them and stuff like that. Like it was really cool to be able to see that, of just being like, okay, cool. Like, like obviously surrounding that shoe and kind of just where shoes are right now, that it is a lot of hype and more of like aftermarket stuff. So it was really cool to see, just like you said, just everyone just like putting them like straight to feet and just like excited that they were able to like hit and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that, I mean, there's so many times that we'll come in to, here or like the Lafayette location, and we just spend like 20 minutes, kind of like you said, just like hanging out and stuff like that. And it's just fun to just talk about. And we'll talk about like a release that just happened. We're always just like talking to everybody, be like, so how was it and stuff like that. And everybody's just like kind of glad it's over, like glad that we had it. And, like it was a lot of fun and stuff like that. But just everyone just being like, man, I'm just kind of glad that was a wild day.
Yeah, it's always a lot, but at the end of the day, it's fun. But you're in the moment, you're just like, Jesus Christ. Can't even catch a break. Like, and then there's always like random people that get so upset about something. And, like,
it's inevitable.
I promise we're doing our best. Like, and we want like what we enjoy and and more so Jay than me, because he's been in his shoes longer. But I've grown to like the sneaker culture of it just as much now. But like that's what brought people here to begin with. So of course we wish we could just do it the old school way. Yeah. But it's just so like it really is so hard to like. Of course, you can't make everyone happy, but as far as not pissing people off, like the way we were doing it right now, it just seems the best for now.
I've got to give credit. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there not a fan. I love that when y'all do the raffles, it's Louisiana residents only.
Yeah, that's
really a big
cool
thing of like, feels like it betters your chances somewhat, and then it's like you still feel like you can support the skate shop without like competing with everyone else across the country.
To hear that is appreciated.
At least, again, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there in other states that don't love it,
who are like, I don't live there and I can't do it. But
like, why did he just say that?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is really cool, to have some, I guess, kind of going back, like I said, of like the camp out and stuff like that. Like obviously, like whenever it was like a release of like day of no online, you had to camp out. It's the same thing. Like, if you don't live in that state, or if you live hours away, you may, may not be able to pick it up. So it is really cool to have those little local, because like you said, it's like, all right, well, it's a local shop, so it just makes sense to be able to do it. And I mean, like, other states do it, other whole countries do it. And just be like, this is for France, dude.
Yeah. It's and I feel their pain too, because a lot of people, they don't have a store locally that'll have a shoe. Yeah. And I feel for them, but we feel like that's the best way to look out for our immediate community.
Your customers,
at the end of the day, these are the people that come in on a not release day and help keep us open and make all this even possible to begin with. So
exactly.
It's small, but it's something we feel like helps make people feel a little better.
That's a great point. I was going to ask, what is that impact then of like the just, maybe I feel like on a good month you have one, maybe two giant dunk releases coming out. What is the importance then of like the rest of your customers coming in and still buying something that's not the main dunk that's coming out that week?
We're pretty fortunate. A lot of it is because how Ronnie has built this place up since 2000, that we get people who we still get people that don't care about the dunk. They're like,
right, yeah.
They hear us talking about it, like, what's that? You know, that type of stuff. So
they've seen enough fads come and go to be like, that's the latest one?
Yeah, whatever. That they're not interested.
Yeah.
But so it definitely helps. And just when there's a big release, it just naturally brings like energy and attention to the store because you know stuff's coming and it like puts it in your head like to come. I guess it's weird. You know, y'all know how marketing works.
Right.
It's we'll post it, or you'll see it on Instagram. Like SB shops are gonna get this next month, and if you live here, you know we're gonna get it. So I think people just naturally end up here more
coming in.
But I mean, yeah, I guess it helps a lot. The more we have, just because more people are in here, you know, might come in a week before because they saw an Instagram post and then buy a T-shirt. Or,
yeah, exactly.
So I think it definitely helps a lot.
There's some like halo effect to it, I'm
sure. For sure. And we definitely, like in, what month was it? I was telling you guys before how we just got a bunch of shoes from August. So I think in like September, October, we didn't get any of the GR dunks that were supposed to show up at that point. And we definitely can tell the difference, you know, like just being able to post a dunk gets more people in here. So yeah, it's definitely like a big impact.
Yeah. It's funny, like speaking of all those shipping delays and stuff, it's been so interesting to see the rollout of Strawberry Coughs that were like, that was April last year that was supposed to come out. And then obviously, I mean, my impression of it, I don't know if you can talk about it or not, was that they delayed them because of COVID, of the association with coughing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if I haven't been told I'm not supposed to talk about this, but so hopefully we don't get an email from Nike about this. But so what happened, they were supposed to be 420 shoe. COVID started popping off in the US in March, I think, was it?
Yeah.
And this shoe is literally a strawberry coughing and it says cough cough like coming out of his mouth. So
just not the best time.
Maybe this isn't, you know, too PC right now, politically correct. So they held off to it, and I'm glad they didn't burn them because sometimes they'll just trash shoes.
Yeah, they'll just be like, all right, well, we're just gonna be totally done with this one. So yeah, we got it back. It was so funny just to see it all of a sudden just be like, all right, now
they're coming out. Yeah.
It was. That's how fast we found out about it too.
I was going to ask if y'all had any heads up because it felt like I just saw shops posting and I was like, I forgot about this.
Might have been like 2-3 weeks heads up.
Wow.
It's like get an email like, hey, did you come? The release date for these are this day. They'll ship probably next week.
Yeah.
So like, with some of the quick strikes, that's how it happens. But I think it's just like I said, it all goes back to like the shipping issues and stuff. I don't think that a lot of times they know for sure when stuff's going to land.
Yeah.
So they just don't say anything because they don't want to tell us, like make us expect one thing. And then
and then y'all post something, then have to repost. And like, oh, we don't got,
So sometimes we don't get a heads up till Nike, whatever the Nike like shipping headquarters are, until they have them. Then,
that's the thing. Even in, you know, Houston and I's line of work, it's a different industry entirely. But like, just because it touched down in California off a boat doesn't mean anything about when you're going to get it. So we'll see a lot of time. It's until like we receive ownership of it or until Nike receives ownership of it. They're like, okay, now it's within our parameters, our control. We can then tell you. Yeah.
It's exactly. Yeah.
Is it kind of bringing some excitement back of kind of like it is kind of one of those things where like you're saying you only get that notification like a couple weeks out of like, okay, shit, we got to get, it's kind of go time and stuff like that, make the post and get everything in. Is it kind of bringing some excitement to releases with having kind of, you know, obviously all the complications, stuff like that?
Excitement's a interesting word for it because it really turns into more stress from like, all right, how am I going to shoot this? Because the shoot, like really with stuff, it doesn't come in maybe but like 5 days before release day.
Okay, gotcha.
And we try to do a raffle like a little bit before that. So I have like 2 days maybe to like come up with
literally take pictures, like, set up the raffle.
So usually whenever I see a dunk on the internet, like, oh, someone like whatever, this quick strike coming out, you know, it leaked or whatever, I try to put it on the back burner and think of something. But yeah, it's fun, but then it turns into like a frantic where I'm like, all right, could you always want the picture to be cool, you know?
Right.
What am I going to do? But
that's a great segue, actually. So how recently did you start getting into doing all the photography and everything like that?
So when I first started working here, we weren't really as focused on it on Instagram. And I think it was before most people were anyway. I think like you have a few people in the game that have been on it from the jump, but so probably if I got here in 2015, I remember it started off with Ronnie would like hand me his phone with like a skateboard clip and he's like, write the caption. And I'm like, oh man, okay, sick. I'm so excited, like take me 20 minutes to write the caption. I want it to be perfect or whatever. And then it kind of just slowly graduated to like, hey Dev, it's the weather, you know, it's supposed to rain this weekend. Go like take a picture of this jacket, you know, this rain jacket or whatever. And then so from like 2016 to 2018, maybe 2019, it was all just like iPhone, like, you know, this just came in type stuff. And then we realized, okay, hold on, like this Instagram stuff really matters. Like, brands really care about this. And, you know, it's actually a legitimate part of the business at this point, or as a whole. And everyone was like, you know, doing it proper. So at that point, that's when I started using my like DSLR real camera, take all the product photos for every single one. Because at first I would just do it for like big releases, and I had a release date, and then it turned into like, all right, so this is about to be my job. Like every day I'm about to be doing this.
It's funny because I guess you've got the artistic reason behind doing it. I would think ironically the bigger releases are the ones where like I would put the least energy into because it's like people are going to come anyways. I could take a blurry picture on my iPhone.
They could care less.
But so, I think there's that reasoning artistically that you're like, I want to do the best tribute to it.
A lot of it's personal for me because at this point I like take pride in it and want it to be well done. But it's a lot of because that's what the brands want. Like the brands, at the end of the day, a lot of the times we're just marketing tools for these brands. Like they don't need us to stay. Like they're gonna make $1 billion in profit with or without us. But we're like that first like connecting point to the community, like to these small communities everywhere, and so. The way we market it benefits them, and then if they like what we're doing, it benefits us as far as like allocations or like just strengthen your relationship with that brand. And so there's benefits that come from that.
Are they encouraging you guys to do more in-house photography than like provide you with like stock photos?
So the clothing brands will send us like assets.
Okay,
that's what everyone, I don't know why. I guess I get why they're called assets, but I'm like. When I think assets, I'm like house and land. That's what I've always been told.
A little bit different,
What's equity?
Yeah, exactly. So, so a lot of the clothing brands, no matter what, they'll have them. I don't like to use them though because I just think there's some value of like doing it yourself. Just,
I mean, CJ's modeling career has exponentially taken off over the years.
It's popping off.
He's not going to be here that much longer.
I know. It's funny. I told him, I said, CJ, I'm building your modeling portfolio whether you like it or not. So just be ready whenever.
I'm not taking a cut now, but boy, when you make it,
that first contract.
2% coming. Yeah, exactly. It's coming in.
Throw your dog a bone.
There you go.
So like I was saying, the clothing brands do it. The shoes, they really don't. It's all most of the time. I'm trying to think of like.
Do they give y'all any like direction? Do they give you like notes of like what they want in there, or there's just kind of just like free range of just like shoot it?
Kind of good luck, and they've never like explicitly told us. Yo, we want you to take good product photos, you know that,
right?
But you can kind of see.
You can and then, like I said, Joey, best dude, like, love that guy, like for so many reasons. But he put us on game. He's like, look, they really care about this, and that's when I started using my DSLR for everything. He's like, Nike sets the tone for the whole industry, and he works for Nike, so he's in these meetings, and he's like in there. He knows what they want, and so when he tells us stuff, I take it very seriously because I know that these other brands. They follow suit, kind of,
right?
Because Nike's in the driver's seat right now, whether we kind of like it or not. So
call it what it is,
So even with like the tier structure of like levels of what level of shoe you get, you know, like the hot stuff, tier 0, like other brands started adopting that as well. And so whenever he told me like, look, they really care about how you guys market it, how you put it on the internet, like all that stuff, I was like, okay, so I need to do this for everyone because if they don't care now, they're gonna care. At some point, in the near future. So
what's crazy is that like the thing I appreciate so much about just like product photography is that like that can sell you on the product more than the stock image or something like that. Because you'll see someone style it a certain way or shoot it a certain way. You're like, oh shit, I can see that on me now. Like it makes me want it now. Yeah,
that's the part I've learned to appreciate and really enjoy doing because I was into like camera stuff because of skateboarding before, like film and skateboarding and skate photos, but the more I started messing with product photography, I kind of fell in love with it. I'm like, this is really, like, it can really change your perception of the product. And it's just fun to, like, make it look cool and, like, try to tell the story in one frame. You know? It's just a lot of fun to me.
I get that,
That is, like you said, that is a pretty interesting kind of, like, mindset of just how well can I express this thing like that. I mean, I for sure, I don't even know if the shorts that y'all have done. I don't even know like the material. Those like I think you bought a black pair. Like,
the nylon shorts.
Yeah. Like literally just off like the product photos. I was like,
separate shoot, but the pool shot
Oh,
you talked about I saw you talk about the pool shot. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, just seeing those shots, I was
floating
like,
in the pool.
I literally was like, okay, yeah, I 100%.
That's awesome.
I literally walked into the store, didn't even need anything, walked straight to the rack. Like, I don't even think I told them how. I think they were like,
how's it going, Tanner?
Do you have these in this size?
Large.
That's so funny. That's really cool to hear, though. So thank you for acknowledging that. But the pool shoot was funny, because I don't have like an underwater case, so I went by a fish tank from Walmart, and I just like pressed it down, and like I didn't put the top of it underwater, but put it and then put my camera in that, and luckily my girlfriend was there to help me because I'm like, oh, I could do this myself.
And trying to balance it.
Dude, I had no idea how hard it was gonna be to press down the
fish tank.
Dude, it was like a workout. I'm like, I feel like I was trying to drown someone. Like just trying so hard.
And then not only are you trying to keep it down, you're not trying to push it far enough to where you just completely wreck
the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And in my head, I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go drop the shorts, walk back, press it down, and do it. And then I got in the pool, and I'm like, there's no way.
Turns out whenever you press that, ripples go. And you know the shorts are
right to the top. So my girlfriend would like. And she was in the pool, and she would drop the shorts for me, and I'm like, okay, come on, do it. I'm about to lose. So, but if she wasn't there to help me, I wouldn't have been able to do that one. So
the real MVP.
Real MVP always.
We go, wow, we have 2 apologies and 2 great.
Yeah.
We're even right now.
We're
great. It's great.
We're giving out flowers today, baby. That's what we're doing.
We should be. So what's next on the horizon for you that you're excited about? Whether it's something here, personal?
I don't want to speak too much on it yet. But we've been working hard on something, big project next fall.
Fall.
So,
okay.
If you want the details, y'all gonna have to interview Jay. That's how I'm plugging
There we
Jay
go.
in.
Okay.
We'll get Jay on the next one.
We got it.
For sure we should.
Look, real, it'll be a lot of fun. We're both really excited about it. But I don't want to spill the beans too early. We're still like 8 months away, so I don't want to count my chickens.
Exactly. We still want to be excited for that. I know it's blasé to you now.
Whenever it's like a Rukus project, the excitement's there. It feels more
the whole way.
Yeah, but yeah.
Speaking not to go too much into kind of obviously what you're working on, but like how much kind of experimentation is there? Like, is it pretty much set like way months out? Be like, yep, this is it. Or are you kind of like even still for whatever project? Like not like obviously kind of like this project coming up, but not trying to go into detail, but like
so like this one specifically, like who are you working with and like
what's the colorway? And maybe if you could tell me the shoe itself. Like, are you finding like that you're still kind of like making changes and things like that, or is it more of just like cementing what's already there?
So this one's a little more cemented.
Okay.
Because it's like a bigger scale than doing, just some like clothing stuff. But with our apparel, I guess let me finish that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, we're pretty much
set in how it's going to be.
Yeah, for the most part. Like as far as the actual product goes, that one's pretty much set in stone. There's still, some. As far as the pieces that come with it or whatever. Don't want to get too in detail, but that part's still up in the air. But as far as like Rukus apparel and Rukus branded
those projects.
But we're trying to graduate into having, more levels of like checking the product before and like get more into cut and sew and like kind of elevate
having
Rukus
an
as a brand. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
We're trying to do that a little better, but right now it's kind of just we just look at I just make mock-ups like on the computer and we're like, what do you think? And it's kind of just by the seat of our pants. This will be clean. This will be cool. It'll come out this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, we want to release that next month. Or I need to order it now.
Yeah.
Get the blanks in, that type of stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's not very far in advance at the moment, but we're definitely working to get more structured in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Like I said, it's weird to think, because like I guess just Rukus always being kind of like a local shop, like it's always seemed like a big name because of that. But it's very interesting to hear kind of like how you're saying like, this project and like things going on, then kind of how like being like, oh, I think we could really like elevate and always finding ways to improve. So it's always interesting for us to kind of be able to, I guess, see Rukus like always hit that next level and be like, holy crap, like they've hit this level. That's awesome. Is huge. And that, but then even hearing, trying to, there's still areas that from people who are just like customers of like coming in, seems everything is super tight. And then being like, oh, well, we can even make Rukus even bigger and
That's
stuff like
funny.
that.
I guess we're doing our job then if it seems like we're already running smooth because
Yeah.
Behind the scenes,
exactly.
it's like a kitchen where all the plates are perfect, but if you saw what's going
it's
on
a
in the
mess.
back,
Yeah, 100%.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's just like, of course, me and Jay haven't been doing it as long as like Ronnie. So we're still, there are some stuff that we like. If we would have probably asked him before we started, it'd have been a lot easier. But we're like, let's just do it. And
Let's just do it. Yeah.
run around.
Yeah, that's how you figure it out, though.
Yeah. And that's what he said. That's funny because that you just said that because he always says that. Because sometimes we go to him like, "What should we do?" And he's like, "I don't know. Y'all should just figure it out." And I'm like, "That's not what I want to hear.
That's not why I came to you.
I need an answer."
Yeah. It's pretty awesome because you'll just be, you know, more secure and more confident, kind of like moving forward, being like, all right, so that was a flop, so we're not gonna do that. But like when we worked on this last time, it was a pretty big success. So pretty awesome, and it just kind of, I don't know, it feels like it's just an even more enjoyable and would make you want to obviously like progress and make it as big as possible when you have someone kind of just being like, I trust that you can do it. You show me that you can do it, so you'll figure it out. And along the way, if it still was a success, but there's probably something along the lines that you'll even be like, oh, we could have done this differently, things like that. Like, it's pretty cool to know that you have someone behind you who gives you that support, and it'll be like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's a really good mix of a relationship with Ronnie for me personally, but I think also with like me and Jay and even the other guys that work here too, of like father figure, like role model type stuff, and like boss. Because to me, he's like the closest thing. My dad died when I was little. I grew up without a dad for the most part, so he's like father figure to me.
Oh wow!
Since I've been coming around, and he just like completely took me under his wing, and like he's done. Like the only person who's probably done more for me than him is like my mom.
Yeah.
So I can't be more thankful. But then also, like I was saying, when he's chewing my ass for not dusting, that kind of thing, like he plays both parts super well, and I think it's like something really unique that not a lot of people can balance.
I think it's a great place. You know, started with an apology mom, in with a thank you to mom. So
wow, look at that.
Real Mother's Day
Full
episode.
circle.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to do a couple rapid fire at the end?
Ooh.
We'll do some quick questions, not really thought of or pre-planned ahead of time.
Okay.
Quick answers here. Best shoe to skate in?
Best shoe to skate in, man. Right now, I like the New Balance Tiago 1010.
Okay.
That's my favorite one right now.
We have one on the shelf over there?
Yeah. Hold on, let me grab it.
Best colorway?
Whichever. Yeah, your favorite colorway.
That's a whole different shoe.
Uh-huh. Come on now.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm kind of clean. I'm a sucker for white shoes. Like,
right,
I can't get away from
I remember
them.
we talked about the beignet shoes, and you said you preferred the beignet Sauconys.
Yeah.
And you said you preferred the white colorway of those.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what draws me to white. I'd smoke them in 3 days. Like,
Yeah.
I should have cleaned these before I got on the show, to be honest. Took a little
better.
alcohol wipe to them or something, but I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah.
Draws me in.
Got you. What's the biggest, I don't even know the term, slam, fail, injury?
So...
Skateboarding related, obviously.
I assumed. So I broke my arm one time in the middle of a contest in Houston, which was a mess because my friend's parents drove us there. Compound fracture, bones out the skin. And then, so my parents had to drive to Houston because I had to have surgery like immediately.
Right,
so ruined their weekend too.
Right,
they had to drive up.
No one had a good time.
Yeah.
Wait, so you had to wait? Were you were in the hospital waiting for them, or you were just sitting there with a bone and being like, "Guess I'll be here for a couple
hours." Like a mom,
No.
can you pick me up from school?
No,
Hey.
No, it's funny. I texted my mom. I broke. In the middle of a contest. They were literally like last tries, and
Boy, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Went all out.
Yeah,
good for you.
It was for sure my last try for a while. Slip. They were like 3, 2, and whatever. I go, slip out, snap, and then it's like it was a contest series that Volcom used to put on. So it was a good bit of people that were there, and I just hear everyone go, "Oh!" Like everyone draw their breath, and I get up and I'm like,
"Uh-oh, that's not supposed to be there."
Full disclosure, I never saw the bone out my arm.
Okay.
Luckily, because it like came out on the bottom side.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And I never rolled my arm. Like I never looked. I was just like it was curved. It was
Right.
nasty.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
So I just like, and I picked it up and I was like, well, I knew I'm going to the hospital, so I just like walked up the bleachers and started leaving. And I remember seeing like people with their phones like, filming me, and I'm just like, okay, this is.
I gotta find that footage online.
Yeah. I have the link if you want it.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
So then I get in the car. My friend's parents who brought me there, of course, brought me to the hospital. They were responsible that weekend. Bless their soul as well.
Sorry, mom again.
And then I text my mom like, I just broke my arm. I'm going to the hospital. And she's like, are you sure it's broken? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty.
You're like, I could send you a picture if you need the proof.
That's a mom right there. Are you sure? Be like, well, I'm drawing an S with my forearm right now. Yeah.
So then they had to drive up, had surgery, and then started senior year of high school. Missed the first 3 days and had to write left-handed for 2 months.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was fun.
Learn a new skill there.
That's cold-blooded.
I think I just gave up and just started. I asked all my teachers if I could type.
Yep, I feel like they should throw you a bone on that
like,
one.
This left-handed thing's whooping my ass. Can I please type this?
Not going to hold off that long.
Right.
What's the best thing on the menu at Pita Pit?
Oof. Southwest chicken on wheat all day, toasted.
Right.
Gotta get it toasted. Yeah, for those who don't know, we eat Pita Pit quite a lot here for lunch, and that is the best.
I never tried it until y'all turned me onto it, which is funny because I live like 10 minutes from it.
So good.
Delicious.
The drive-thru's a little slow sometimes.
I ordered ahead.
Hey, oh, smart.
I learned that one.
For some reason, as many times I've got stuck in that drive-thru line, I never figured that out.
Keep going back to get hurt.
Yeah.
Favorite flavor of Gatorade or Powerade? Or color?
Yeah, I'm about to say, can I do color?
Can I do color?
Honestly, that's where we're at.
Man, so, all right. I'm going to give my hot take that might get some hate in the comments.
Oh, God.
The cucumber Gatorade.
Okay, actually,
that's a thing?
Yes. I'm glad you said it. It's like top 3. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yes, it is
so good.
Literally,
colliding.
Anytime I see it in a grocery store, my wife absolutely love it. Dude, I'm literally just sitting there just scooping them in there because it's hard to find. Dude, so good.
They're so good. And like,
not a hot take for me.
People are like,
I gotta try it.
I usually just get like shit on as soon as I say it, but I'm not even into like cucumber flavor stuff.
Yeah,
but it's like,
exactly.
I don't know, the smell of it's like refreshing. And
it's super good. It's like the best thing to
check it out.
Yeah, it's great.
How worried are you about Andrew leaving here to pursue a career at Ame Leon Dor? Because it's the only thing I hear talked about.
Dude, if they offer him right now, he'd be gone. Pack his bags. Yeah, he told me he doesn't plan on moving from Louisiana, but if the offer comes through, if he got that text or something, he'd be out the door. Yeah,
there you go.
We're all heavy on them right now. They're killing it.
They've been blowing up. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, there's a couple skateboarding video games. What's your top skateboarding video game?
Oh man,
ranked by I guess gameplay and then by soundtrack. Not really, but the soundtrack's important.
Man, dude, you can go so many different ways for this. For hours played, Skate 3, easy.
Okay,
oh man.
Entirely too many hours on Skate 3. Like, get home from skating and you're just like
more skating,
like eyes just like sunken. It's like 3 in the morning,
staring at the sun again.
I guess I should go to sleep.
Quickest route to 1,000,000 boards.
Yeah, staring at the sun again. That's funny. Yeah. And then best soundtrack. Skate 3's got a good one, but for some reason I remember American Wasteland being cool when I was
American Wasteland had a good one. They had a lot
of
of different genres on there too.
Yeah.
That was a great game. American Wasteland or Underground?
I remember Underground.
Remember when you could get off your board for the first time? And it was like
you could walk around,
dude.
Big.
It's like seeing God.
That's why I think
oh my God.
I loved Skate 3 so much was to be able to walk around and hit people with the skateboard and they get mad and they tase you.
Yeah.
It was great.
What a great skateboarding game.
The full experience.
I was like, to me, that is what skate culture was. People carry around tasers and they tase you. That's
well, man, thank you so much again for taking your time out. We really appreciate it. This was great.
For having me.
If you got anything you want to plug or promote, that camera right there is the one to do it in.
Man, I don't know. I guess just be on the lookout for the project next year. We're super excited about it. We can't wait. And then, man, that's all I really got. I don't want to.
Fair enough. Don't spill too many beans.
Yeah, just give them a little taste.
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all one question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know Adam already turned the tables on y'all.
He's going to say, can you do a kickflip? And I'm going to start sweating. Get my shoes out of the shot.
Just like favorite brand, like I'm going to take Nike out of it. No Nike, like favorite shoe brand right now, like based on recent momentum or things they're doing.
Would you consider the ACG line separate from Nike or no?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept that one.
ACG, I don't know who I responded to someone the other day. There's this like meme account, like this meme, like Hypebeast account on Instagram or something. It said something like area man bases total personality off of shoe he discovered 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Me with ACG is basically like,
dude, that's so
just kind of recently got into it like 9 months ago. And I'm like, I love outdoors. I went camping when I was a Cub Scout once, actually. So
I saw you post that. I thought that was hilarious.
It felt right at home with the ACG line.
Sometimes the internet is too
a little. Is this a joke page anymore?
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably say the name wrong, but I think it's like a Diodora, or whatever it is. Yeah. I think I've got a pair from them, and they've been doing a lot of really, really good colorways. I really like the look of their shoes and things like that. So I would say my biggest brand that I'm kind of hyped on and excited to see for them to keep going would be a Diodora.
Who carries them around here?
Politics used to.
I think
I don't know if they still
that
do.
colorway, the one that I have, I bought at Politics probably like 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But they just released, I think like earlier this year, like a couple different colorways, and I was like, I need to get me some more.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know.
What about you?
Man, right now,
hard to deny New Balance.
Yeah, I know New Balance is like they're killing it right now.
Yeah, it's sick. We talk about them all the time. Of just like, man, I feel like they're like right there to like really get like that.
And
explosion.
they're really on both ends of like their skate line and the lifestyle line. They just seem like they know they get it right now.
Right,
They're just heading like in the perfect direction. So on both ends that we see, I'm just like, y'all are doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing Saucony in too, and so I don't know if it's kind of new.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's new to us, but I'm like, when I see the line, I'm like, ooh, this is like
the thing
some good
I
players.
love about the Sauconys and the Asics and the Diodoras is that like I feel like you're getting so much better materials than every other brand.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm a sucker for like suede and corduroy, but
Right.
anytime I see them like premium shoe, love it.
Yeah.
exactly
They're
that you can get. So that's like one of my top things.
Being able to buy a shoe is very high up there on things of like about things I like about
how
shoes.
much I enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, we have them coming in for spring, which is like really January. Spring is like months 1 through 3.
Okay.
Isn't spring? I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
who determined
That's
this?
more of you. That's the quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Q1, Q2.
Yeah,
for
yep,
sure.
see,
For sure.
he knows.
Fiscal year.
Yeah, not a business guy.
So when we saw those lines, me and Jay went to LA Men's Market in October, something like that, and I don't know if it's because they just brought the best samples they had, but we were looking at them like, dude, these are good.
Yeah.
Like the colorways are good. I think they're the same in this kind of in the same boat, not to that level as New Balance, but I think there was like a change in command, and whoever's the head dude right now is just bringing them in that right direction.
Absolutely.
Like they did a few packs and the colorways. I was like, dude, this is like really on point.
Well executed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
And I never really paid attention. I don't know if I should admit this, but like before, I never really was like interested in them as much. And like, I mean, of course, when Politics did that,
The beignet.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
of course, opened my eyes a little bit. But before that, I didn't
They have
really-
been they're one of like the
Under the
quieter
radar.
brands and stuff like that.
for
Like
sure.
you know, kind of the same thing with like New Balance. Like they were always kind of like a really big brand, but kind of overshadowed with like the two giants and stuff like that. But definitely, for sure, like last year, this year, like you said, both Saucony and New Balance have just all of a sudden just really taken off and just I don't know if they were just like, we're just gonna put all our chips in and just really go forward with it, but it is definitely working. Yeah,
I think a lot of
hitting.
it has to do with people for two things. From my perspective, I think the kind of like tastemakers, the people that are always a little bit ahead of the curve, are tired of not being able to get shoes.
Yeah.
So they they find like what's cool that nobody is
Right,
doing.
exactly, yeah.
And then also the brands seeing like where the trajectory that those guys are on, because it's always it's all like trickles down. Like you get it on the right people,
Right, yeah.
do the right collabs
Exactly,
in
yeah.
the beginning. So I think both parties just have like they're like crossing paths right, now, and it's just going really well.
Yeah. I think that'll do it.
I think that's it.
Well, man, thank you again so much for your
Yeah,
time.
appreciate
Really
it, Devin.
appreciate
For real.
it.
It was
Thank
fun.
you, everyone out there, for watching. You can catch us on Instagram at Shoe Podcast and online at shoepodcast.com. We'll be back, I guess, whenever we want to be back with whatever we feel like talking about.
It's the best part.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Peace.